Hello and welcome to Plot Armor. This is, I guess, episode 3 of the solo journaling mecha RPG or mecha anime RPG written by DC or Dungeon Commander everywhere else. Oh look, even the bot left. Oh gosh, now my music isn't happening. I don't even know. Everything just switched to default and it was really strange. Hello, welcome to Plot Armor. This is the solo journaling mecha RPG anime written by DC or Dungeon Commander on the internet. It won an ENnie Award for being great. It is an anime about it's not an anime. It's an RPG about a mecha anime protagonist who slowly throughout the course of the anime learns that they can't die. Unfortunately, we don't get to see all of the anime. We skip from episode to episode. I made this anime specifically a reverse harem school mecha anime because that is my brand of bullshit. The last couple episodes, I'm not going to read everything because there has been a lot of stuff going on. And it's just too much to read right now. Maybe we'll read it all at the end. But we were introduced to Aoi. Aoi is the protagonist archetype, completely inexperienced but full of heart. She enters this military school during a period of time in their world called the Conflict. The Conflict is some kind of war against some aliens that they call the Visitors. The war has begun reaching closer to home, and some of the more advanced students are going on what the higher-ups have been calling experiential learning. And we meet her and her squad of attractive boys, and her mech armor. It's a bodysuit. It's called the Durasuit X3. It's a recon suit with a computer AI that is extremely nasty to her. They have a like not really great relationship. And he often like will take control of her body over her. The last week, we only got through one episode. That episode was where on an experiential learning trip, Aoi came across some monsters, came across some visitors who were kind of like hiding out in an old bunker. And in the battle, she was injured with some kind of caustic fluid to the point that her right arm fused with her mech suit in such a way that they cannot be separated without her dying. And they she blacked out because of the pain, and during that period of blacking out, the suit once again took control over her body, especially because they were fused together this time. And she killed the visitors and saved the day, but she was kind of left not feeling kind of great about what happened, and she's not really sure. She kind of, and we ended that episode with a question: if my body killed something while I was unconscious, does that mean I still killed them, or was it computer that killed them? Then we skipped forward. That was episode 9. We skipped forward to episode 14, which is kind of sad because I feel like this is a 24 season or episode anime season, and I really wanted to have episode 12, that like first half of the season ender. That's when I said kind of privately in my head, you know, episode 12, that's when people are going to start dying, and then we didn't actually get to see that, unfortunately. But I mean, or fortunately. But there was something called the Battle of the Lost Peak, and we said that that Daiki, one of the members of her squad and members of her harem, that she was trapped in a bunker with way early on in the anime, probably her first friend, died at this battle. So now we are on episode 14, the first episode of the second half of the season, and we have to and I've already, at the end of last episode, I pre-rolled for what happens, and we said that the protagonist will black out in the middle of an unwinnable battle, and the armor, or the mech, will, what is it? Develop a new ultimate power? Is that what it is? Learn a new ultimate ability. Yeah. So, this is what we have. I remember last week that I had to stop because the bleed got too much. And I think this episode's probably going to be rough too. But so I might just do one episode and then switch to Stardew Valley again, as kind of my bleed management strategy. So we have, it's been 6 months since Daiki died at the Battle of Lost Peak. They've stopped calling our missions experiential learning. These days, the line between student and soldier is pretty much gone. The squad has been split up. Since then, the teachers say that it is better for us to be somewhere else, to be with other people who can support us in our time of mourning, but no one else really understands. I miss the squad. Akatsuki and Akatsuki and James and I know that's the wrong grammar, but screw it. And I have been meeting secretly after missions to eat ramen and remember Daiki. Daiki was my first friend here at the Tranquility Academy? I called it something real sinister. Tranquility Institute. My first friend here at the Tranquility Institute. And the first member of the squad to accept me. He made the best ramen. He would probably be so mad at us for eating instant, but last time we tried to make the noodles, ourselves, it failed miserably. My new squad is okay. They are all girls this time, and it is nice to spend more time with other girls, but they act a little awkward around me. I think it's because they don't know what to say about Daiki. Then we're gonna have a little bit of a skip in the kind of like the next day. Oh look, it gave me a little line that is 100% not what I wanted because the formatting's real bad, but whatever. Sure. No. Oh God. Microsoft Word, why you gotta be like this? Oh my God, one sec. No. Haha. I'll have the break that way. Microsoft Word, friends, it's a time. Not again. I can't do this again. Why does this keep happening to me? We were on another mission. Let's give this a name. In the, bless you, scared me. In the let's call it the Heather Fields. In the Heather Fields, that turned into a full-on ambush. All right, so what has to happen in this ambush is that Aoi has to black out in the middle of an unwinnable battle, and the armor has to gain a new ultimate power. Let's think about what this new ultimate power could be. I'm not sure. it's not a combat suit, it's a recon suit, so I feel like this ultimate power should be something like some kind of like super intense, all of a sudden it can see everything on the battlefield power. But I'm not sure what that is. Maybe that's what it is. It's just you can see everything on the battlefield. So I think this happens then before the blackout. The squad and I had to hide out under a hideout in the let's say there's some like pretty intense underground irrigation systems. Underground irrigation. It'd be in the underground, because irrigation would be small. So like the underground reservoir, irrigation reservoir ducts, irrigation reservoir ducts, while the visitors just destroyed the base. Just when we thought that we would die lost in the watery maze, dogged by enemies at every step. I think this is like connected to the mech arm. My right hand came into contact with an old piece of visitor tech. Let's say some visitor blood. I don't know if it's like blood like human blood, but it's like, it's blood. Blood. It's visitor blood. I felt a stinging sensation run up my arm, and all of a sudden my sensors freaked out, and I could see every single visitor in the area. I imagine it's like this is going to be a very specific thing, but so there's the game Republic, which is like a stealth game, or any kind of stealth game, and there's like but in Republic specifically there's a power-up where if you tap into the computers you can see the patrol lines of all of these guards you're supposed to get up, and I think that's what we see. You can just see the paths and where they are at every moment, like in a stealth game, video game overview. And the routes that they were walking. We thought we were saved. We managed to get past all of the visitors in the ducts. But when we escaped above ground, a huge warhead landed just 15 feet away from us. I don't know what happened after that, but I know that 3 squads went out that day, and I am the only survivor. While I was gone, James and Akatsuki figured out how to make the ramen noodles. And they were so excited to see, to show me, but I don't think that I can eat anything right now. All right, that's our episode. So now I am gonna go on my dice roller. We're gonna roll. First, we're gonna roll for episode. What episode we jumped to? So I rolled a 4. So now we're on episode 18. We might finish this tonight. And then we're gonna roll to find out what happens to our protagonist. Excuse me. And what happens to the armor. So this is the roll for protagonist. The protagonist, sweet, came back from the dead. Again, or sort of. And let's find out what happens to yeah, let's find out what happens to the armor. 3. God damn it! Computer San. Computer San took over. Took over control of itself again. Oh. That is Twitter. You don't need to see Twitter. Sorry. Pro streamer. Yeah, Computer San took over control of itself again. So let's say this is... What did we say this was? We said it was like 6 months. Ascension 32, H7. Okay, so... Ascension. That is not how you spell it. There we go. Ascension. That sh is... It's a thing. It's not a schwa. What is it? An esh? An esh, yeah. Ascension 32. I hope that's like, you can, I mean, you should be able to hear me like pretty well over the music, but Ascension 32, I think it's still H. I don't think they can take as much time off anymore. Ascension 32 H. So 7. It would be 15. 22. So let's say it's 2 weeks later. I shouldn't be here right now. It's getting hard again. I want to stream a little bit longer because this isn't like this is going to be a really short episode for people who are just watching the VOD, especially when I cut out the like 15 minutes of me just like messing around. But I think this is just too heavy for me again. I think I should probably in the future plan for only one episode a time. So we will just make another note. Protagonist 6, armor 3, and think I will do my decompression off stream right now because nobody's watching, which is fine. So if you're on if you're watching this on the VOD, thanks for watching. I know this was a late stream. I'm trying to figure out the best time for people to watch, and also, just like worry about my singing stuff, which is why I was late tonight. So I think I'm gonna try. 6 didn't seem great for people. I'm gonna try 7 o'clock ish, and see if I can see how that works. But yeah, this is a good thing to remember, to take care of yourself. Because, like you said, that some of you may know, big proponent of safety tools, and all that good stuff. But I think safety tools are especially, we usually talk about use of safety tools in group settings, and one of the most important safety tools is frequent check-ins with people, because a lot of times you can have a lot of in-game safety tools are reactive, because they're in the tabletop RPG safety toolkit. We kind of split things into like pre-game, during game, and post-game. And a lot of safety tools are during the game, but they're all extremely reactive. And that can have a lot of pressure on people. And so one of the things that we talk about is a good pre-game tool or habit to have is to do lots of check-ins with people, not just when bad stuff happens, but like kind of throughout the game, every hour or so, just going, hey, I just want to make sure everybody's okay. Because it can be really hard to use a card if everyone else is having fun and you're the only one who's uncomfortable. And even though you should absolutely use the card in that situation, or use a tool, it can, there can be a lot of pressure. And you'd think playing a game by yourself wouldn't have that pressure, because especially, I'm streaming, so it's a little bit different, like I'm worrying about audience and is this viewable and all of that kind of stuff. But I shouldn't be worried about, like my own safety and my own feelings should be fine. But it can be really hard to check in with yourself and to kind of say like, no, I can keep going. I can explore this dark thing because there's nobody else in the game to kind of, nobody else playing with you to say, hey, you look kind of upset right now. Do we need to stop? Do we need to pull a fade to black? Do we need to do something? Like, for example, I wrote out that whole body horror section last episode, and I probably should have faded myself to black, but I didn't, because I thought I could handle it, because I knew what was going on I was already imagining it in my head anyway. But the act of writing it out was really, really tricky. And I think that, yeah, like protecting yourself can be in these kind of games can be definitely the hardest person to protect, especially if you're like me and you're a really nurturing personality. So yeah, I think because I've had to do this twice now, and as things are only gonna get darker, this game is a game about things getting harder and worse, and realizing that you can't die, and then eventually dying in the last episode. And so that's just heavy stuff, and it's always gonna be heavy. And it's, as you know, we're getting pretty late in the game. I think the cinematically and narratively, like these near-death situations, or these, in this next episode's example, actual death situations, have to kind of ramp up. And so it's going to keep being harder and harder for me. And so I think I want to get to new games. I have some like great ideas planned, but I also want to finish this. And I think I have to owe it to myself to take it at the pace that I feel like it should go, or the pace that I feel like I can handle. And right now, that pace seems to be one episode a stream session, and I think that's okay. It means that we get to spend more time with Aoi. It means that I can take some time to figure out what I really want to do after this. But it also means that I'm going to have some lighter content in the rest of my week, so that every week I'm not just rolling around in this really dark, heavy stuff. And I need to be honest with myself about when it's too much for me. Because I don't think we think about safety tools as an act of self-care, but I think they are, and I think they can be used that way. And the same kind of impetus that people use, that cause people to not engage in self-care as much as they maybe should, because they feel like they don't deserve it. Hello, self-call-out, is maybe why I don't always use safety tools when I feel like I have to, because I feel like my feelings are not as important, and my comfort is not as important as other people's. Or in this case, my comfort is just not important at all, because there's nobody else here but me to play this game with. So, sorry to get all like, here's my brain for you, but I think that's something I'm gonna start thinking about. Check my Twitter. There's probably gonna be a thread like in 15-20 minutes, maybe tomorrow, who knows, just about safety tools of self-care and safety tools in solo gaming. Thank you so much for watching. You can check out my music here, my stream music here, or if you're watching on YouTube, it'll be in the description below. You can also buy plot armor from DC. It's Dungeon Commander, no E, COMMANDR.itch.io/plot armor. It's like less than $5 or $10. It's really cheap. Super worth it. A really fun game. And if you like going into all of these like really deep, dark places and contemplating life and death, and we've been dealing a lot in this game about like bodily autonomy and AI stuff. I definitely think it's worth picking up. Just, make sure to take care of yourself. Make sure you're only playing as much as you can handle. There are definitely solo journaling games that you only play, 15 minutes a day, and they're designed that way because they're so intense. So, yeah. I know that some people kind of like just marathon it. I wouldn't recommend marathoning it at all. But I don't know. Maybe you're not me. Maybe you can marathon it. And I will be back next week with episode 18 and Awie's resurrection from the dead. I will see y'all later. Bye, friends.